Can you tell us what happened when you turned into or onto Phelps Street that morning?
That morning, I made my usual left onto Phelps Street, and there's one house and then my house, and so it's not like you're driving, you're coming through a turn, so you're not moving super fast. Almost kind of coast as I was waiting for it to catch the signal and send my my garage door up. And while I was doing that, I noticed a Jeep that was parked, and it was really awkward.
Why was it awkward?
Well, it was parked on top of the car that was normally there. So,
3875 East Phelps Street. Is that your address at
Yes.
that time? And so it was 2 houses in.
yeah.
When you were arriving back to your residence that morning of October 2nd, can you describe for us how you came in to the neighborhood?
I guess people probably can't see when I point. I would have gone up.
Let me pull out just a little bit.
I would have come around where the map kind of starts there. Yeah, where your pen was. If you go down to that corner, I would have come there off Fairview, come all the way up, gone up that street where your pen was, and gone. And that's the way that I came in, where your pen just traced.
So you went through this intersection and then you turned left here, and that's where you saw, as you turned that corner, that Jeep Wrangler.
Correct.
Did you notice if the Jeep had 2 or 4 doors?
2 doors.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the license plate?
It was a Texas plate.
Were you able to get the license plate number?
I was not.
After the shooting, you told us that you sort of took off, and I'm putting Exhibit 3 up now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So we see Phelps Street. Is that the same street we were talking about?
That is
You told us that you accelerated. Was it this direction on Phelps?
correct.
And what did you do when you got to this intersection?
Made a right on Cole, and you can see there's a pool right up there. I parked right there in front of that pool where that little walkway is, right on the.
So you parked right near the pool here.
Yeah, right where your pen tip was there, kind of by the E.
Were you on the phone with 911 prior to reaching that pool?
Yes, I was on the phone with 911, I think, as I got towards the end of Phelps Street.
Did you see the Jeep as you were there at the pool?
I did, yes.
And where did you see the Jeep go?
She asked him about the day of the incident when the Jeep passed him, and he said he passed me on the right, or it passed me on the right, and I couldn't see the driver. Did you have your phone, and did you take pictures of the Jeep? No, I didn't. Did take pictures of the plate? Didn't take. I mean, I understand in that moment your adrenaline's going, and you may forget about that. I've actually forgotten to take pictures at relevant times.
Sure.
And with not even my adrenaline going as high as his was probably going.
Right.
But I don't understand, because I thought that when he took off, he went to the end of the block, and then he went all the way up north, or all the way out west to the T, and then he went up north to park next to the pool, which is beyond the street where supposedly the Jeep turned. So
Okay, 3893 East Fairview. That's where the ring was located. And I took notes driving back from the pool area. He saw the Jeep. He turned onto Waite and then south onto Fisher. He saw the Jeep leave. That's why he turned around and followed the Jeep and didn't see it on Fisher or Phelps. The only way the Jeep could have gone was Fairview, but he also told 911 Peso.
3893 East Fairview.
3893. Yeah. Now that's the ring, but you'll see Phelps and Waite. You'll see.
Right. Yeah.
And there's 10.
But I also want to see that. And
Yeah, Phelps is a very small street. When you pull it up, I'm surprised at how
Right.
short it is. It's like maybe 100 yards. If that. He was 3875,
all right. I'm going to
and
Go
she's
live.
3893 East Fairview. He's 3875 Phelps.
okay.
So that's what she was saying. It's like literally behind, and you can kind
It
of
is,
see it.
yeah. And they're really close, actually. But
Yeah.
that gunshot was loud, I'm telling you. All right. So there's one way in and one way out of this entire subdivision here. So this is East Pecos, where eventually the Jeep left.
Mhm.
Here's East Fairview.
Mm-hmm.
So she's across from the basketball court
Mm-hmm.
and Fisher. And then 3875.
And that's that cross street right there, right? What's that? Fisher and Fairview? That's that cross street that she was at.
Yes.
So that's where her camera was facing.
Right. So it's right here. So she caught the black car going that way. She caught his Tesla going that way just really briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few seconds later, here's
Mhm.
3875 just
Mhm.
around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
See that? There's 3875.
And you could hear it. That, I mean,
Oh, it was loud.
it's close, but it's also not. I mean, there's a lot of sound dampening things that would,
Exactly. Yes.
So can you imagine being like right next door? Like if you were that neighbor right next door,
Yeah. How did not more people?
hear that?
My grammar's going too. The ability to construct logical sentences is going. But there's 3875. There's right there. Well, I think you can see that white. Yeah, you can see that white van
Oh yeah,
So-
there. Oh, you were talking about that yesterday. You wanted to see if it was on Google
Yeah.
Earth. There it
So the
is.
Jeep pulls up in front of there. That Jeep has to be blocking at least partially that. Even if they're touching noses,
Yeah.
that Jeep
Well,
has to be like partially over his driveway.
right. And what's up with that car right behind the white van there?
He's
That's
trying
nose.
not to block that driveway.
Yeah. I see now. That's nose to nose. That's funny.
And he's like, no, they're both parked parallel
Mm-hmm.
facing east.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, this a-hole won't pull up just a little bit more so I don't have to hang over this driveway. He's like right there next to bumper to nose.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, so that's where it happened right there. Follow my mouse. He takes off here to the T, and then he comes around the corner and he pulls up here next to the park or next to
Okay.
the pool.
And there's
right
the pool.
here.
Yep.
So then the Jeep takes off,
Mm-hmm.
goes around those two cars and comes up here too and sees him there and goes this way is the way I understood the story, and then goes on down to Pecos.
Mm-hmm.
If he's here before the Jeep comes here, how did the Jeep pass him on the right? Like the Jeep goes behind him and he could see him in his rearview mirror, but the Jeep didn't pass him on the right for him to be able to look at the side of the Jeep and look in the driver's side window and see who was driving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way the Jeep would have passed him on the right is if he was
Is if
coming
he's over here, if he
back.
like stopped over here somewhere, like at this
south, yeah.
intersection, but he doesn't say that. He says he pulls up here across from the water park.
But he does the
where
loop, or he does a U-turn.
Yes, he did. And then he sees the Jeep go by, and then he does the U-turn, and he kind of goes after them a little bit, but then comes around back home and pulls into his driveway.
Mm-hmm. So when was the Jeep caught on that Ring camera?
I don't
it was
think
before.
it was caught on the Ring camera. Did
It was
Did
before.
we see a Jeep on the Ring camera? Did they see a Jeep on the Ring camera?
No, I guess it was that dark car. It was the dark car, which was not.
Yeah, it was the
Jeep,
dark
just
car.
the dark car. Right.
So it's kind of the Ring cameras here at 3893 here on the front of it, I think, on the front porch. And it's kind of facing diagonally across northeast across that.
Mm-hmm.
And so do we see the bloop of the black car like that? Why don't we see the bloop of the green Jeep?
Right. If it came that way, I guess maybe it came from a different way. Can it come a different way?
Well, if it comes around here and it turns left, say it comes from East Fairview, eastbound on East Fairview, and comes around like this, you would think that angle would still catch a glimpse of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
This is awkward testimony. I would respond, how is it awkward? It's because he's facing the wrong direction. He's facing westbound on the left side of the street when all the other cars on the left side of the street are facing eastbound, because that's the proper way you should face. So it's awkward because he's faced the wrong direction, but we don't need to see all of that. I do want to see the map. Here we go.
Yes, I was on the phone with 911, I think,
Maybe it was
as I
the
got towards
Jeep's
the end
right
of Phelps
side.
Street.
Maybe it was
Did you
as
see
he was
the Jeep as
accelerating.
you were there at the pool?
I did, yes.
You
Back up
told us
a
that
little
you accelerated. Was it this direction on Phelps?
Correct.
And what did you do when you got to this intersection?
Made a right on Cole, and you can see there's a pool right up there. I parked right there in front of that pool where that little walkway is. Right on the,
So you
where the
parked right near the
walkway
pool
is.
here.
yeah, right where
So hold on. If he's parked up here, how could the Jeep pass him on his right? Maybe he meant back when it was in front of the house and the shot was taken, he went past the right side of the Jeep. I think that's probably where my confusion is, because I thought he said that the Jeep passed him on his right, but he's probably saying he passed the Jeep on the right side of the Jeep. Okay, now it makes sense to me, because he's up here. The Jeep comes up and around and sees his car there by the sidewalk and turns around and goes this way out of the subdivision.